Adrian joined us on the Down to Business podcast today, and we were really able to highlight the importance of networking. You know, it's one thing to market your business, whether it be word of mouth, business cards, anything like that. But really, the sole purpose of staying ready so that you never have to get ready. And that sole reason is why Adrian and I were able to not only meet, come in contact, but actually get this interview scheduled. And on top of that, you know, we were able to talk about the host of things that Adrian is involved in, from clothing to logo and content creation to music, everything like that. But really, how at the end of the day, you hear so many things. You hear entrepreneurs, you hear business owners, you hear people really taking a risk, betting on themselves. But ultimately, it's really all about the mastery of self. Have you really thought about that? Do you really know what that means and what that could look like in your life? Well, if you don't, I definitely encourage you to tap into this episode. So, without further ado, enjoy episode 127, Seize the Opportunity. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast. Look, we in the new year, man. It's definitely very exciting content, everything like that. I really am excited for this interview because of the way, you know, networking is powerful, man. Word of mouth, sometimes just speaking up, sometimes just saying something, business cards, however you have it. So the way I was able to actually get in contact with Adrian, Lord Arcane, however you may know him, man, I was actually on my way leaving Charlotte. We had just did the live event December 3rd. I was telling him a little bit about it and everything like that. And then he literally, after getting dropped off at the airport, he said, yo, bro, just take my car real quick. Took the car, was looking at it. I was actually late. Well, not late, but I was running late for the flight. So I couldn't really ask him and talk to him the way I wanted to. But I said, bro, I'm about to follow you right now. We're about to get right into it, man. I really was just like, damn. So once I actually got back, landed back in Tampa, went through everything, I was like, damn, bro, this is really like a talented dude. It was really like, you know, one of them things where look at the power. Look at the power in that. Like I came out there for a live event. I came out there thinking, you know, I had everything solidified with Shauna and we was doing everything. And I was able to make connections with another business owner, another entrepreneur, another Charlotte native, everything like that. So I was very happy, man, after going through the page, going through the content, even telling him a little bit about what I had going on my side, just how willing he was, man, just how excited he was to do it. And nonetheless, the turnaround time was quick. So here we are. So I'm excited. So Adrian, how you doing, bro? How's everything on your end?
I'm doing good, brother. I can't complain. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. So, you know, like I said, there are going to be a host of different people, whether they be from North Carolina, whether they be from Tampa, whether they be from your side, my side, and then we're going to get some newcomers along the way because people are always tapping in with the journeys, you know. So, can you one just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you two just tell us what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today?
Yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I actually just relocated from Pittsburgh to Charlotte about a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago is also when I dropped some of my clothing line and stuff, which was a foundational place here in Charlotte. Like you said, I met you driving a Lyft. I started the Lyft just to get my networking, you know, because I'm not based entirely out of Charlotte. This is a new location for me, so it's a good way for me to get around and meet young individuals like yourself. Part of the reason why I had those business cards proper and ready. So, you know, if you are doing something out there, establish those business cards because you never know where you're going to come across somebody that, you know, has a short window of time to speak. And I was able to hand that off for you, you know. But yeah, I make music. I have my own design company. I have my own design company since 2017. That's called Coexisting Creations. I started making music when I was around 22 with two of my older brothers. It was kind of one of those atmospheric big type things. It was available for me. I fell into it. And, you know, I just start watering things, you know. That's just a little quick background about myself.
It's crazy. It's even a smaller world now. You relocated from Pittsburgh. I actually relocated from Philly. I was born in New York, raised in Philly. Went to school in North
Okay.
Carolina. Ended up going back, get my master's in New York, and then was in Philly
Okay.
and left in 2020. Yeah, pretty much like once the pandemic really like started taking its turn, and everything. So damn, bro, that's definitely crazy. We even got more ties than we realized. But you're absolutely right. Just
Yeah.
being able to be able to market yourself in any way, in any situation. You never really know. Like you said, you're going to have a short window. It's just going to be a quick exchange. It's just going to be something where, you know, you have to, I can't tell you how many times I've taken business cards, I'll put them in my wallet or something like that. And I may not tap
Right.
them right then and there. I may even forget. I may go about my day and I may have something totally different going on. But then, you know, one day I randomly open my wallet or I'm going there to get some cash or something like that or get a card or my ID. And I'm like, "Dad, wait, where'd that business card come from? Hold on, let me follow them. I actually have a book of business cards. And so after I hit you up, that's kind of like my
Okay.
wayfinder in a sense. Like once I hit somebody up, once I kind of lock them in or do whatever it was in the nature of receiving a business card, I always add them to my book. So I'm gonna do a video with that book one day and just show y'all kind of all the connections
Okay.
everything I was able to add. But no, bro, I love to hear just you involved in so many different avenues and how you've been in so many different places, but
Mhm.
nonetheless still kept it all going.
Right.
So I want to rewind
Yeah.
back a little bit. You said 2017 coexisting creation. So this was obviously before the
Yes.
pandemic, before a time where, people were really just into business ownership, into entrepreneurship. It wasn't really as populous as it was back then. So
Mhm.
how did you really get that start? What made you really kind of want to dive into that? Was it any experience specifically? Was it just kind of a love you had, a hobby that you wanted to do? How did you really get coexisting creation
Yeah,
started?
yeah, yeah. Well, ever since it really started in high school in the photography and design classes that were available to me back then. But it was also a passion of mine that I found after athletics. So after athletics fell through, I kind of fell into more the art side of myself that was available to me right in my home. There, I started developing energy drinks, liquor bottles, cooking agents, home decor items, anything that I can modify and have a reflection of self in. That's what I got into. So once I did that for a while and I solidified a few projects, it was just time to take the next level up. And the next level up at that point in time was to solidify myself as a business, to be able to say I represent a business and I'm the owner of this brand. So that's when that started. Like I said, the music started a little bit before that, but I haven't solidified the music in such a business way yet as I did the design. Design is where my passion's at.
Got you. I love that, man. It's always so interesting just to hear the background story, just to hear how things were able to formulate together. But even still, how
Mhm.
people like yourself, you really strike me as an individual who you're not just about to confine yourself to one lane, to just music, to just design, to
Yeah,
just
definitely.
clothing. You're gonna do a little bit of everything and network and put yourself
Yeah.
out there while you can. I think that's important, bro. So okay, so now kind of to take it a step further now. Okay, so we're thinking about 2017. We're thinking about even the love that you had in high school leading into that. So now
Mhm.
2017 goes by, 2018 goes by, 2019 and 2020. That was a rough time.
Mhm.
Pandemic, COVID,
Yeah.
everything just going on, everything happening. What did that with thinking about everything that you were doing, coexisted creations, the music, and everything like that? Did that kind of cause you to
Mhm.
put a different spin on things? Did it delay anything? Did any trials and tribulations come your way? What was really that process like
Um,
with all of this during COVID?
that was actually a benefit. That was a point in time for me to really sit down and analyze myself as a spiritual being and my reflection and placement in the world. That's how that name coexisting creations came about because it's an identification of the spirit coexisting with the flesh and all different types of concepts and colors coexisting together as one. So that time period of the COVID era, it was a booster for me. I was able to sit in the house. For us, we was receiving checks and stuff, the stimulus checks, so my bills were paid. I didn't have to worry about none of that. I was able to go full fledged into myself as a reflection into my music and my design. So it was a beneficial time period for me overall.
I've talked to so many different people, man. Some people who share a similar sentiment of your own, who said COVID was really a benefit, it really helped propel them. And then I've talked to so many people kind of on the other end where it may have
Hmm.
caused some delays. It may have caused, even shut down. Even
Right.
some people went out of business and everything. So it's just crazy how such a time, how such something that was just so unpredictable, something that never in a million years we honestly would have thought. Growing up, we never thought of a pandemic. We never thought of it just this crazy, widespread, at one point uncontrollable just thing. And the fact that it had a different impact on
Right.
so many different people, man. But to see so many people also come out on the other side of that, like you said, just to realize that
Hmm.
this is truly what you love, truly what you wanted to do. So
Hmm.
now, even I love kind of how you tied in the name and kind of how you were so intentional with that and why you did it like that. So
Right.
speaking more even further to names, Lord Arcane, the music side of you. Where did that come from? How did
Hmm.
that get started? Because you said that started before coexisting creation. So what was really,
Yeah.
partnering up with brothers and everything like that? What was that experience like for you?
Um, That was a great experience for me. I mean, my brother Ailey Legendary, he's also on YouTube. He's a great producer. He been he been into music since he was a little kid. He been producing since he was 18. And he's older than me now, but man, he's prolific in his talents. Like I said, it was available to me. He had open arms to me. He let me express myself in ways I didn't even know I had talent in. The Lord Arcane name actually was an evolutionary process. It started off as Lydell Lord. Lydell is my middle name. Lord was a level of stature and also to, our Lord, Savior, in Christ. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a hierarchy of myself, and arcane stands for mystifying or unknown. So when you tie those two together, it's like, do you really know who your Lord and Savior is? Do you really know who yourself is? So that's how that came about. Name came about. You know?
Okay. Oh, that's fire. You just taught me something. I didn't even know that. So that's, but I love in-depth things like that. I love research. I love when
Yeah.
there's true intention behind. So not to say that I like, when people
Right.
just come up with things or people, it just sounds catchy or anything. I love creativity just in general. But when you, like you said, that evolutionary process, when you can really tie it to a meaning and you resonate with it, and it even shows in your art and your passion, your craft, what you do,
Hmm.
man, that's amazing. So okay,
Right.
you weren't always in Charlotte. You said you started up north, man, with the folks up in
Hmm.
PA, man. So what
Yeah.
led to that relocation? What walk me through that? Walk me through, you leaving Pittsburgh, you leaving the hometown in a sense, and you relocating all not just to New York, not just to Jersey, not to the DMV, but to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
What really prompted that step? But then how was that transition for you?
It was a little bit of everything. I didn't go as far back. I'm originally from Reading, Pennsylvania, which is actually 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. That's where I'm born and raised. In the year 2011 is when I transferred to Indiana, Pennsylvania, and then to Pittsburgh. And like I said, I was in Pittsburgh for 10 years, but the relocating process, man, it was just sometimes you just got to transition in life. You know what I mean? You're in one place for a while, you get accustomed to certain lifestyles. Good to go different places, be around different people, different energies amongst the earth, not only just in cities, but amongst the earth. But moving down here was primarily weather and family. My family moved down here, so I wanted to be closer to my family, you know? So it worked out. Charlotte's a beautiful place, plenty of opportunity. It's growing, it's economically stable. You know what I mean? There's so much to do here, bunch of shows, bunch of platforms for me to express myself at the same time. It's still wide open, so it's a good place to have any type of foundation, whatever avenue you're in. This is a good place for
Yeah, man. That's okay. So even you even taking it back a little bit more from Reddit to the Indiana. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm getting
it.
it. I got it. But no, you could honestly. I share a very similar sentiment with you, and because going to ECU, being in Greenville, North Carolina, that was a switch for me. That was coming from Philly, New York, the hustle and bustle, just that fast pace. I'm a city boy at heart.
Yeah,
I
the
can't
culture.
deny that. Being
Yeah,
able to, like you said, be exposed to a different energy, be exposed to a different culture, be exposed to just a different place. I had never experienced Southern hospitality. Always heard about it, always heard about the cooking, the
right.
education, just the people. But it really took me immersing myself in there, going there for school, being there for almost 5 years, and just realizing, wow, it's different. I needed this. This was cool. This was a
Right.
switch up. And then it even gave me one of, obviously being in Greenville, I traveled to the Raleighs, the Charlottes, the Durham, the Chapel Hills, the Fayettevilles, and everything. But Charlotte was one that just always stood out to me, the Queen City, as they call it. Just a place that,
Hmm.
like you said, with even everything going on, with all the growing, with all the building, with all the students, universities, everything like that, it's still wide open. It's still a lot to
It's
do there, a
wide
lot of
open.
opportunity, a lot that you can really get involved in out there. So you couldn't tell me that, I wasn't going to end up in Charlotte. I wasn't going to do that. It was either between Charlotte or Atlanta. Those were like my two places where I was just like, man, I
Hmm.
really just want to lock in. But, obviously God had other plans. I would have never thought Tampa, Florida would be the place, but I definitely feel that way too here, just where it was a city where growing
Right.
up, I didn't know too much about. You think of Florida, you think of your Miami's, your Orlando's, your
Miami.
Jacksonville's,
Yeah.
those more known Daytona Beach, Fort Lauderdale, those more known places. Tampa was always kind of just under the radar city. And I see why. And I
Hmm.
see why. But now I see just between the sports, just between university, just between even the people and just the temperature here in Florida. Not the physical temperature, but just the atmosphere, the trajectory. I see
Right.
why Tampa is like, slowly but surely. At one point last year, they were saying that behind Austin, Texas, Tampa, Florida was the fastest growing city in the world. So, and I can definitely see it
Mm.
now. Like I haven't been here for a lot of time. I've been here 2 years officially, but it's just to see. I think about when I came down here in 2020, and I think about just the growth, just the trajectory, just everything that's happened now in 2022, going into 2023. I mean, in 2023 now, it's just wow, it's crazy. Like wow.
Yeah.
So
Things move
with
fast.
yeah, absolutely, bro. So you spoke about family. You spoke about coming down here wanting to keep the family close. I'm all about that for sure. Would you say that your immediate when you got to Charlotte? Was this just a hit the ground running thing? You already had a lot going on. You were already established, so you kind of just kept it going. Would you say that you were kind of slowly but surely just inserting yourself into places, whether it be word of mouth, network, and everything like that? Would you say it was a slow start? Some things were delayed. What was that immediate
Definitely.
feel for you getting to Charlotte and being around the folks?
It was definitely a slow process, being that I didn't know too many people here. Like you said, we came right out of the pandemic era, so we weren't really mingling as much as I could have been. I was waiting for those doors to open in the city to make that possible to mingle. So it was a slow process. That was part of the reason why I dropped my clothing line at that particular time. I was able to still network over the phone and get production done. I didn't have to be face to face. I do all my designing for my logos and my editing myself, so I didn't need to go to any outside sources for that. It was just a production value, and that went from shipment to shipment between me and a personal friend up in Pennsylvania. So it was a slow process. I'm still in that process. I'm still growing. There's a lot to learn when you're jumping into the business field. There's a lot of boxes to check off, and you learn those things through your trials and tribulations. There's no better way to learn than your trials and tribulations. So it's a growing process constantly. It's a slow process, but that's better than no process. You know what I mean?
Come on now, slow process, slow progress is better than no process, no progress. I'm always a firm believer in that one. I'm big on that. But like you, I even like how you said you keep it in house. You do a lot. You cut out. I'm big on just, and nothing wrong with it, but I'm big on cutting out the middleman. There are some people who make a
Hmm.
living off just being the middleman, being able to provide that service or being able to just do something for people who need it. But I'm all about too working smarter, not harder. Sometimes if I can cut out that hassle, if I can cut out having outreach
Hmm.
here, network here, do that there, and I can just keep it all to me. That's why I love the podcast. I love the ability that I was able to just gain so many skills over the years, whether it be from school, whether it just be from myself, watching, reading things, researching, being surrounded by people who I emulated, people who I wanted to be in a sense. But being that I'm able to edit, being that I do a little photography, I do a little videography, I do a lot of, recording. I've had internships and just been in different places with radio and broadcast. It makes it that much easier rather than having somebody, now I got to hire a photographer. Now I got to hire a videographer. Now I got to hire an
Hmm.
editor. Now I got to all things that all skills that I gained over, but all things that could very well have been very new, very foreign to me, and I really had to take a step back. But then that would have, more money in a sense, maybe less opportunity, maybe less content, different things like that, because I had to schedule and figure things out. But for me, it's all on me at this point. If I wake up and feel like editing or wake up and feel like dropping, I can just do that, and I love
Hmm.
being at liberty to do so. So, with what you do, from the music, from the clothing to the designs and everything, I'm already hearing that they intertwine with one another. They, one benefits the other. One can kind of come into, play, like you said. You're doing, if you're thinking about artwork or designs or a new logo or something that you want to put on a shirt or some clothing, you can just get in the lab real quick and do that yourself with coexisting creations. So how do you manage everything that you do? That balance, I know balance is essential just with being an entrepreneur. Is definitely something that is
Yeah.
easier said than done. But two, how exactly do all of your ventures relate and benefit one another?
In regards to the balance, it's just a little bit of everything every day. So it's mainly consistency. Sometimes I'm feeling like being in the design lab for design mode for 3 hours. Sometimes it's 30 minutes. Sometimes my guitar takes over for the whole day. But try to make sure that I touch things at least a little bit. I don't care if it's 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to move you forward. So it's more to me about consistency and that revelation. Um, the belief, which is my clothing line here. Again, I have some shirts. My logo here, one of my logos. This is the white and black. Also have a black on black, and I also have some hats. I got some fitted hats and some hoodies, as you can see, I'm wearing now here. So this is my symbol belief, which ties into everything. That literally ties into everything. To me, belief is a tool within all human beings, mankind, however you identify, that apply to life, man. It navigates us through life. It manifests and materializes the things that we wish for internally. Um, so my brand altogether is designed to support, to educate, and to empower. And having belief in yourself allows me to design. It allows me to freely create my music. And that's how they're all tied together. They all coexist as one through internal aspects of oneself.
That's fire, bro. And I love how you even threw the name. You threw the name in there, man. That shameless plug. I love that. But no, I'm loving the merch too, and I'm definitely knowing that I'm gonna have to. I know once this drops and once this is official, we definitely gonna have some people tapping in Charlotte, and definitely gonna have to do some things because, like I said, I frequent Charlotte. I frequent North Carolina a lot, so I definitely
Okay,
am
right.
already thinking about some things and how you could be of help for others and even connect just from the music side, from the design side, and even from the clothing side. So yeah, I'm definitely. This was really supposed to happen, bro. I
Right.
love just how we were able cross paths so simply, but so purely, so intentionally. So that's fire, man. That's really what's up. So thinking about the music now, the Lord Arcane side, everything like that. Would you say that you're a particular type of artist, somebody coming across maybe your YouTube, your song, your content, anything like that? Is there a specific type of sound? Do you do a little bit of everything? Do you hone in and focus on one area? Have you switched it up a little bit? Are you experimental? What would you really describe yourself as when it comes musically?
Musically, it's also an evolutionary process. As I continue to water myself, things change. I originally started out rapping, solely rapping, and then I taught myself how to sing and how to harmonize with the sounds of music and the instrumentation. Um, and then I learned a few instruments on top of that. So I taught myself the piano, the guitar, played the drums as a child, but I also taught myself the saxophone. So now I'm at a point in time where I'm trying to collaborate all that I know I am into one form or sound of music. And it's kind of leaning towards like a neo soul kind of music, but it's also informational. I also got some regular hip hop. I can't leave the regular hip hop. I can't leave the streets out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of everything. I think I'm well rounded. It's best to be well rounded. So you never know who you're going to feature with, who's going to come your way, and I want to be able to create that product for them, or blend with their sound of music. So I'm a little bit of everything, man.
Come on now, the Swiss Army knife, bro. I
Yeah.
love that. I love the evolution, though. I love the fact because even I was talking to my boy Ian a couple episodes back, man. It's just amazing to see how you can switch up. Even nowadays, like we think about just different artists, just different people who started off as rappers and now, like you said, kind of moved into a different lane or did this or
Hmm.
did that. I just think that, but that's the beauty of I think just music in general. It doesn't have to just. It can be one sound if you want it to be. It can be just that rapid fire,
Right.
just that whatever, however you want to do it. It can be just singing, it can be just guitar, it can be just EDM, but whatever. But you can
Hmm.
give a little bit here, give a little bit there, give a little bit there, and all together, that's you. That's how you do it. Like you said,
Right.
maybe you were just at this phase in your life, you were big on rap. You were just big on, you were inspired, you were feeling good. It was what it was. But then you came down to the South, a different vibe hit you a little bit. You switched it
Hmm.
up a little bit, you started experimenting with some things. But something that really just stood out to me, your self talk, bro. That's wild. One,
Yeah.
as somebody who can't sing, or at least, well, it depends who you ask. If you ask me, I could sing, but some people, they be hating. It's cool, but I was as someone who, so my grandfather is a pianist, but he also taught
Okay.
himself instruments. I believe he taught himself the cello, and I believe he taught himself. I can't remember. And Grandpa, I'm sorry, man, but we're gonna have to rap about that after this. But
Right. Right.
self-taught is just hard. Even when you're learning an instrument, being taught, whether it be YouTube, whether it be instructors or everything, that's hard because, like you said, it's still
Hmm.
about that consistency. It's still about having to pick this up, whether it be 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there. I played the drums
Hmm.
growing up as well, and I would say
Okay.
that sometimes I didn't do anything outside of my lessons, and I quickly realized that no, this is not it because I was getting to the lessons and feeling like, oh, I just lost a step, or I was getting to the church now. I'm forgetting certain things that I shouldn't have. But once I really started just hitting the drum pad a couple times a day, getting a snare, just going crazy a little bit, I'm like, okay, now it's second nature. Now I'm getting it. Even the instructors are saying, oh, you've been putting in work on the outside. You've been doing this on the outside.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so but for you to not only be a self-taught singer, but to have self-taught yourself instruments as well. One, I'm gonna say, why? Why did you choose to go that route with being self-taught, with kind of just immersing yourself in that? But two,
Okay.
what was that like, man? I know it had to be, I know it had to be, it couldn't have just been a walk in the park. There were some frustrations. There were just some things that you had to learn. Maybe even you took a step back at some points. But yeah, what was really that process like for you to really get to where you are right now?
You gotta be open with yourself, man. You have to give yourself time to grow. Don't be scared to be you, and let yourself reflect on those instruments or any avenue in general. Um, it was something I just kind of fell into. Again, I wanted to expand my talents. I didn't want to get on stage and just be only able to hold a microphone. I want to be able to put on a show, put on a concert, make people feel something. You know what I'm saying? But I applied a lot of different things in the learning process. One of those things was numerology. Numbers are very foundational to everything built in life. So, to break something down with numbers. We all have a simple understanding of numbers, two and four, put this proper space in between, and so on. I applied those things. I applied simple aspects of life, applied time, and allowed myself to be open enough to, accept what came out. And I think that's the biggest thing in being self taught. I think a lot of us want to reflect what we have already heard. We think we can't sing because we don't sound like them, but it's all a master yourself. And when you're able to master yourself, you're gonna shine regardless, you know? So that
I think
process.
that's a great perspective. And
Mhm,
yeah, I think that's part of the reason why sometimes we count ourselves out or we doubt or we get
mhm,
frustrated because who we look up to, who we want to emulate, who our role model is, maybe even who our inspiration is for getting involved in said craft. We're
mhm,
not them.
right,
And that's by design though. We're not supposed you're supposed to be you. It's only
exactly.
one Adrian. It's only one Kumar. You know what I mean? It's just like you have to master yourself, oneself. And I
Mhm,
think that's a skill that you say that now and people don't realize the power behind that though. And that's not just
right,
something that's a one step process or something that's just going to come overnight or something that's just you're going to know every single thing as to how it's supposed to. No, there are going to be some things that you learn about yourself along the way, some things that you have to rid
mhm,
yourself of, some things that you have to even relearn, recondition, enhance. You know,
mhm,
you're all we change every day. We wake up, we're not
right,
the same person who we were yesterday. Especially if you're a one percenter like myself, I'm big on just 1% better. Like you said,
mhm,
picking it up for 5, 10 minutes, that's 1%.
mhm,
Doing a design 30 minutes to an hour, that's 1%. So
mhm,
I'm big on that. So you can't even reflect on your yesterday self. Bet
right,
on better yet, who you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, who you were before the music, who you were before coexisting creations, who I was before the podcast. We're totally different. We're in a totally different space. We've
mhm,
amassed different energy, different people, different connections, everything like that. So that's really a powerful statement that you said there, bro. So okay, 2023, we're here.
mhm,
It's lit. It's live. What
yeah,
are we thinking? What is Adrian doing? And I asked this as a 2 part thing, so I'll kind of explain. I explain this to everybody when I
right,
kind of get into this part. I love thinking about the future. I don't like to. I love living in the moment. I'm all about existing, but I also love to get sneak peeks. I love when people got things going on. People are always working, always doing things, always thinking. I even see you smile when I said it, so I know you got
mhm,
some things in the tuck
yeah.
in the lab. So for the people who one who know you, me myself who are tapping in now, who are connecting with you, but two, the people who will come along the way. What can they expect from Adrian? What can they expect from Coexisting Creations? What can they expect from Lord Arcane? What's really on the map for you this year?
This coming year this is the year of exposure. Uh, I have a lot of things that I kept to myself for a very long time. They're doing me no good sitting in the box. This year is the year to connect with the people, really let you understand what I have, what I built, and how I'm gonna let the world know I'm here. So I got new clothing lines coming out. Everything in my clothing line is always limited edition. So I come out with a new color set or I come out with a new design. They don't get repeated. So this coming year, I have a new line calling out called I Believe. It's going to be super dope. I'm gonna put it out on some windbreakers. It's gonna be fly, Get ready for that. But then I also got some music videos, some photo shoots, some product dropping. It's really this year's about exposure. It's about putting myself out there and really giving myself the opportunity to be found. That's what this is about this coming year in 2023. It's gonna happen. You just keep watching. It's gonna happen for sure. I got some heat for y'all coming.
I'm tapped in, bro. I'm loving it. I think because I even like the way you put that. Like you said, it's no, they're doing me no good just keeping them to myself, kind of keeping them hidden, gatekeeping, whatever you want to call them. Put it out there, bro. I talk to a lot of my friends, my fraternity brothers, family, anything like that, just about when it comes to just this content or when it comes about to just what you want to do or what you think. And there is no perfect moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's no time like the present though. I tell my and I'm only speaking from experience. I'm only speaking because there were certain things that I get kept. There were certain things that I delayed on. There were certain things that I made excuses about. That once I finally got it rocking and got it rolling, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I did all this overthinking. I did all this psyching myself out. I did all of this extra, even probably put more work and more stress on myself in the process and not even really realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
When I could have just put it out there,
Right.
gave it to the people. You're not gonna be for everybody. And that's okay. That's important. But the people who you are for, man, you're for them and they're for you. And I think that that's the most important exchange. And it's always changing, though. It's always something that's updated. It's never just going to be you're limiting yourself here, or Lord Arcane is only going to be heard by these type of people, or coexisting creation is only going to be worn by the Charlotte community. Like, bro, it's limitless. It's no belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's just different energies, it's different spaces, it's different places that come with everything. So
Right.
thinking about different spaces, thinking about different places, are you still set on Charlotte? I know the kind of, and this may even be like a too soon question just because of the recent relocation. But are you looking to hit anywhere? Do you kind of love North Carolina? Do you have any idea of where you want to be? Florida is wide open too, bro. Just throwing that
Yeah.
out there. But no, as far as kind of like where you want to be, essentially.
Um, I don't really think there's a place that I want to be. There's places that I would like to go to. There's people I would like to see. There's businesses I would like to interact with. So I kind of want to be more so on the move nationally. And I want to get eventually international as well. I'm working on some things out in Osaka, Japan right now currently. Um, my clothing brand went nationwide the first week actually. So I'm in California, I'm in New York, I'm in Miami, I'm in Chicago, I'm in DC. So it was a crazy feeling to know that my creations are walking around the nation already. Throughout the nation, and I'm gonna just continue to grow. And like I said, my next accomplishment is international. I got to get across seas, across this water, onto a new rock, and touch some different ideologies. So that's my big thing coming up next. But I don't really want to be in one place. I like Charlotte. Charlotte again is a great avenue. It's a great access point to New York, a great access point to Florida, major hub here, so I can definitely move around at will. But it's about being in all places at one time, man. Whether it's on the internet and making sure I'm marketing in different target markets, or if I'm actually making myself present. Wherever I need to be, that's where I'll be in that moment. Life will let me know.
Life will let you know every time, man. There's no doubt about that. I think one of the scariest, but it's like a good scary, like a crazy scary. It's just like you're thinking about as a content creator, thinking about just being on social media, thinking about whether you're an artist, business owner, entrepreneur, whatever title you put on yourself. I think that the fact that our craft, our work, our content, us,
Hmm.
not physically us, but what we do, what we have done, what we've put out there, can be in places that we've never even dreamt of, never
Hmm.
even been, never even associated. It's just crazy how the power, between social media, between networking, like you said, I can buy one of the windbreakers that you say you drop and they're gonna be fire. I can go take a trip internationally. Yo, what's that? Or where'd you get
Right.
that from? Or just the airport, or just being and seeing somebody seeing a new logo or seeing a new label and taking a picture. You never know like what's going on, who's watching, who you're around,
Right.
who has impact, who because I see it all the time, even with my own brand or even with wearing other people's brand. I can't tell you how many times I've worn one of my friends. I really try not to travel unless I'm wearing either something of mine or something of my friends or
Hmm.
somebody else's, with the exception of like sneakers. I can't tell you how many times people may ask or people just may inquire, or people want to social media real quick, or they got an Instagram or they got a you or something like that. And just that fast.
Hmm.
And it's not to say that something monetary is always going to come out of that, but you never know. They could share it with a friend. They could repost. They could follow, and that pops up on somebody else's timeline. And now it's just like, bro, the power of social media, the power of connecting, the power of networking, the power of, like you said, just these different ideologies, just existing sometimes.
Hmm.
Man, it's just it's mind blowing to
Hmm.
me. I can't even put it into words sometimes. That art, content, episodes, clothing, music, it's hitting places that we've never even been,
Hmm.
that we probably can't even pronounce, that we probably didn't even know existed. You know what I mean? So that's just it's so crazy, bro. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited just to hear the mindset, just to have been able to connect, like you said, for that short period of time that we had that ride to the airport,
Hmm.
but just to also get that business card, go through the content, and realize, oh, it was deeper than that.
Yeah.
This started as a car ride. This started as a simple exchange of business cards, and yo, I got a podcast and everything. And now it's just like, wow,
Hmm.
this man is about to go international. This man is about to go global. This man is only, taking a step up with everything that he does, evolving. That evolution,
Hmm.
man, it's a process, but it's a beautiful one for sure when you truly appreciate it
Right.
and embrace it. So, do you feel like there's anything we have not touched on today? Anything that you want to let the people know? Anything that they should be expecting? Any even I would say last words or words that you want to words of wisdom that you want to leave for people out there in any sector, whether they be in clothing, whether they be in entrepreneurship, whether they be in just a creative space, whether even they could be on the opposite side. Because the same way, we have these creative times, we have these creative just, oh, I'm motivated, I'm ready to get it, let's
Hmm.
knock it out. We also have creative
Right.
blocks. We also have times where it's really hard for us to come up with something. It's really hard for us to sit down and hone in. So, is there anything you kind of want to leave for those people out there, for anybody who may be
Uh,
tapping into this episode?
Never doubt yourself. Always believe in yourself. That's the reason why I came out with this brand. Your power of your internal belief will take you wherever you need to be. Don't doubt it. Trust it. Stay balanced in your endeavors. Like you said, sometimes you're going to be rough. Sometimes you're going to be full with joy. But try to center yourself at all times and be balanced and embrace the moment. Never stop pushing, man. Never stop pushing. Keep your eyes open. You're gonna see my designs, my music. It's gonna walk right past you one of these days. You know what I'm saying? So, just keep your eyes open, keep your heads up, keep creating.
Keep creating, man, any means. Even my boy Jay Coachman said that no matter what you're doing, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what life may bring at you, storms, rain, shine, just keep going, keep doing something, keep posting, keep the content coming because it's going to happen, man. Even even I think about in some of my times where I was least motivated to have no motivation, to have, well, not zero, but to just have very low motivation, low drive, just whether it just be because of life, just how I'm feeling, just everything. But to still be able to churn out from that,
Mhm.
to still be able to give content, give episodes, hop on, that's motivational. I look back on, I can even listen to certain episodes or look at certain dates and I can tell you where I was in my life,
Mhm.
what was going on, what was happening, relocation, moving and everything. But nonetheless, that didn't stop. And you think about, if I didn't stop under those circumstances, if I didn't stop when all odds were stacked against me, when it just felt like, wow, this is like almost nearly impossible, then why stop when it's possible?
Mhm.
Why stop when you hear? Why stop when
Right.
when it's coming? It may be slow. Cool. Slow is better than
Mhm.
no. You know what I mean? So it's just like the fact. Think about that. Think about your journey. Think about the grace that you need to give yourself all throughout the journey. Because the same way I say it all the time, we're our worst critics,
Mhm.
but you also have to be your biggest cheerleader, and that's in
Facts.
everything. That's not just with the big milestones. That's not just with going international. That's not just with being recognized virally or by the companies or whatever. No, that's waking up and saying that, hey, I dedicated 35 minutes to this craft today. Came up with a new idea, came up with a new design. That's a small
Right.
win. Celebrate that because somebody else didn't do that. Because you could have went about your day and not gave any thought to creativity, not any thought to the content or anything, bro. So I think you said it so well, bro. I think so many things that you said here today, to some people, they may come off just as like simple sentences or just you saying one thing. But if you really analyze, if you really internalize, it's not
Mhm.
taking it as Adrian said. It's as taking, okay, Adrian said that. How can I apply that to me? What I have going on, what I'm doing? Because I'm even doing that with the podcast, and I know when I listen to this back, I'm gonna just be in a different space. I have a different aura, even have a
Mhm.
different attitude with how I approach my content, my mindset, just my drive with everything. Like you said, I'm gonna be international. They're
Mhm.
gonna be walking right past you. They're gonna be, people gonna be listening to the
Right.
podcast around you. You're not even gonna realize it. So I love that, bro. So before we officially close out, this is arguably the most important
Okay.
part. Where can we find you? Where can the people tap
Right.
in with you? What are the best places to reach you for, whether it be for collaborations, for the clothing, and they may need logos made, anything like that? What's the best
Right,
places
right.
to
So
get
if
to
you
you?
need any direct business as far as design, conceptual design, logo design, you can always shoot me an email, coexistingcreations@gmail.com. Instagram, I have my clothing line. You can reach me there as well. That's at All Belief. That's ALLBLEAF. And on YouTube, you can find me under Lord Arcane. That's spelled ARCANE, Lord Arcane. Reach out to me. Don't hesitate. I'm here to build.
Come on, y'all. If y'all can't tell that he's trying to build, just take it from the story that I told on how we met, man. He didn't have to say anything to me. We could have just kicked it, rapped it, talked about why, because he asked me what brought me to Charlotte, why I was there, everything like that. So, because naturally, once you see somebody going to their airport and they leaving, if you don't live here, okay, so what you got going on? You passed me the business card. And for some people, you passed me a business card maybe 2, 3 years ago. I wouldn't really know what to do with it. I wouldn't really, I wasn't in that on that type of time. Like you pass me a business card now, oh, I'm taking a picture. We going to QR codes. We going to the link. He got the QR codes on the business card. So I was just going one website, one social media outlet at a time, and I was just going down. So and I just knew when I sat down on that plane, I said, "Yeah, I got to hit him when I get
Right.
back." And sure enough, followed, DM'd him, and here we are, man. So now the fact that we were able to lock in like this, bro, it's only up from here. However, the podcast can support whatever we can do along the way, we definitely will do it. But I know for a fact, and I'm gonna even challenge them. Always give a call to action on
Mhm.
here. I challenge everybody, whether you're in Charlotte, whether you're in surrounding areas, whether you're in PA, anything. Show love, tap in. I guarantee that something that he does can help you, can assist you, and if not you, somebody you know, or maybe somebody who you're thinking about, or maybe if you really think about listen to this episode, you can apply some knowledge, you can internalize, you can take those gems and really let it elevate your life. So to everybody, look, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. It's a new year, new content coming, new us, new heights, new elevation, new energy, new auras, new
Right.
places. We stepping foot everywhere, man. There's really no boundaries. I really think that we adopted this mindset last year and even the year before that. But we have to stay in it. Like Adrian said, stay consistent with it, man. Little by little. It's not about every day just tackling it out, tackling it out, tackling it out, tackling it out. No. Some days you're just gonna, it's gonna be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a post, some editing. It's okay. That's something. That's a 1%. So I appreciate y'all. I'm excited, man. I thank y'all, Adrian. Definitely much love to you, bro, and wish you nothing but success and elevation and blessings all
Thank you.
year,
Thank
man. This has been another episode, of course, brother. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast. here with Tamar Turner.